How you doing, mate? Detecting Adventures, Fishing Caledonia, Brindle. Catherine Carter, thank you, Catherine. How you doing? Evening, Kevin. Rob. Phil, Charlie, how you all doing? Evening, James. Dakota, how are you? Hope you're all well, guys. So, it's been a while. Where has he been? Well, I've been sorting myself out and getting myself back to a more usable, workable state of mind. And here we are. It's been a quick couple of weeks, if it's even been that, but it's been thereabouts, 12, 13 days maybe. And we last discussed going on journeys. Well, I went on a journey, but it didn't work out the way that I was intending. So I was going to do a daily thing where I was going to give you an update and stuff, but that's not what happened. Now, I'm notoriously bad at making plans. There is a small circle of people that know that about me. I won't make plans, I won't commit to plans, I just don't, because there's then too much temptation for fate to come in and obliterate your plans and derail you. So I don't make plans. If I say I'll see you in a couple of weeks, it probably means, 2 months. Because I don't know where I'm going to be and I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I am so prone to diversions. My mind will I'll wake up and I'll just go on another tangent, or something else will take my fancy, or another place that I need to see or be, and I'll go there. So I don't prioritise something over anything really, but what I do is I try and follow my gut compass. So, that nature's compass that just draws you to something, I try and go with that instead of making plans. I find plans very, very, they kind of keep you contained. They're quite definite, aren't they? And you kind of get held down by them and bogged down by them. I don't want to be like that. It's not it's not how I've chosen to live. But anyway, we're here, we're back. Now, what do I bring back to the table? Well, I'm glad some of you hung around. I've probably lost some subscribers and stuff. Hi Mads, probably lost some of the group. That's just life. Your numbers fall off the radar when you're not daily in people's lives and stuff. You just become obsolete. So I hope I'm not obsolete to everyone. And let's go again. I feel refreshed. How have I achieved that? Well, I've taken some time away from a lot of things, but there are things you can't take time away from, especially the things that I'm involved with. I'm not able to take time away from stuff in here. But what I have been doing is developing the skill set and the tools to be able to turn it down a little. Just turn it down a few notches in order to have somewhat of a life. I try and keep my personal stuff, the small amount of personal life I have, I try and keep it private. But there are other aspects of my life that I'm always happy to talk about, because in order for them to be acknowledged, you have to discuss them. They're not things you can do and hope that, the gods bring light to them. I coined the hashtag Shine a Light a few years ago, and I use it on Instagram. And Shine a Light was about shining the light of it on injustices. And injustices are something that trouble me, and they trouble me greatly, but they might not bother you, and that's absolutely fine, because that's what makes us all different. So if you see an injustice, sometimes some people are just able to walk by. I struggle to walk by, and it's cost me dearly in life, because it's made me get involved and give massive amounts of energy to things that I didn't have to get involved in. But I always thought that by turning the other cheek, I was doing a disservice to myself and to who I believe that I am deep within myself. And I don't want to have a flawed character where I'm kidding myself on. So I always try and go with that and go with my heart and keep shining that light and stuff. So, where are we today? Well, I'm back here, sitting down with a cup of diluting juice and a kind of probably as clear a head as I've had for a long time. Clear in the sense that I know the direction I'm travelling in and I know why. I'm going to tell you about a few things I do in my life. I try and manage my randomness. I try and manage having a bit of a crazy head. I'm very off the cuff at times, and everything I do works for me, but it doesn't work for other people, and it's not what somebody might want around them, you know, perhaps in a household or a relationship scenario. And then for some people it is. They like that side of life and they like people like that. So I'm trying to manage my craziness, okay? It's not crazy where it's a danger to anyone, but it's crazy if you weren't used to crazy. Where am I going? One thing I'm deeply involved in is shining a light on the exploitation of lesser people in society, namely kids. Most of you now will have the gist of who I am and what I represent. I represent my own name, me as an individual. I'm not part of an organisation. I am myself, but I've been developing something that is going to be known as Spartan Child Protection, and it's going to be live very soon. It is effectively live now, but we'll be putting it out there on social media, and I'm going to develop it into something very, very worthwhile. There are many people that do many things in regards to the protection of minors in society, but I have been over the years exposing the failings of our representation to truly bring an end to the exploitation of kids in the UK and Scotland in particular. And I'm trying to find other ways to shine a light upon that. And I do a lot of stuff offline. I do a lot of reading and I look at areas that are failed, i.e. across multiple agencies, and why one won't speak to the other, and why Police Scotland don't have generic, codes of practice or standard operating procedures in regards to these things. And it sometimes is a minefield, and it drags your head elsewhere. And so for the past week or two, maybe 10, 12 days, a lot was going on in my head, and I just thought I would rather not bring it here. because you will know by now the way my conversations go, whereas all's rosy and we're fine and we're talking about this and that and the next thing. But sometimes I get deep and I've got the traffic's there and it's building up and there's a traffic jam. And I didn't want to bring it here. And I'm at the junction right now, guys. I'm at a crossroads where I'm thinking about taking my life in one singular direction, or to continue living the way I do, which is to give some of my time here and to give some of my time there and to give the last little bit of my time to another thing. The problem is I'm running out of time. I'm completely running out of time. But that doesn't mean that I'm not focused. I am focused. I just wish that I could clone myself into 3, which I can't. Unfortunately, it's a ridiculous concept. If I could clone myself, I could achieve some great things. I know I could. And I sometimes feel that for all my effort, both mentally and physical, and all the sacrifice I've made over the years, I'm not achieving a great deal. I sometimes feel that because it's so difficult to get results and it's so difficult to make a difference. But I'm still doing it. And people will say things, somebody's saying there about making time for yourself. I struggle with that because I struggle to close my brain off in the traffic and that constant, the constant narrative that's just playing out in my head all the time. You know, that it's like someone reading a book at 100 miles an hour, or someone reading a book and reading 4 chapters of the same book at the same time, and you're trying to listen and follow. It's very chaotic at times. Then you'll get people saying that's unhealthy. It's only unhealthy against the normal spectrum of everyday life. I'm used to it. I'm used to having a head that's busy. And I'm absolutely fine with it. And to be honest with you, it's all I know, and I probably wouldn't have it any other way. But I was doing a lot of thinking the past week while walking and stuff like that, and just, you know, generally relaxing and thinking about the direction I want to take this in, and why is it I got into it, and what is it I want to achieve. Well, I know that change is what I want to achieve. Changes in the way things are both viewed, handled legally, and the outcome of them. I know what kind of changes I'm looking for. I'm just bringing these into the fold because I feel I owe you an explanation. I will be doing a lot more online, but Facebook is silencing me. There are other platforms which I'm as yet not decided on, but I may have to create an alternative YouTube channel. I may have to do that, because if I try and bring another spectrum of my life to this channel, then there's a very good chance that this channel will implode on itself, because there'll be too much going on. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin this good thing that we've created here. I don't want to do that. But I do feel that by knowing me completely and what I do, I'd prefer that yous know it. Yeah, I'm reading some comments here about, you know, people saying they don't like some of the things that go on and some of the people out there doing this kind of thing. I get that as well. There's some unfortunately, there's bad elements in every walk of life. That's why I tend to go out and do it myself alone. I've been thinking about the channel in general, and I love what it's became. I loved seeing all the chat and all of the community stuff, and I've been thinking about suggestions to make things better and get you guys involved more instead of just me talking. Okay, so what I was thinking about was if we do like a live where some of you can come on, we can have a little opt-in where you opt in to come on for 20 minutes, half an hour, and tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about your story and your journey. We could do it one night a week. Say, for instance, on a Wednesday night or a Monday night when people are settled down and stuff, we could do something where you come on the channel and there's 3 or 4 people on, and we could just have a night where people just bring their stories in. We could then see if we can direct some help towards them. I've been thinking about a few things like that, a few wee subtle changes. And I'm getting a lot of messages, and in the past week or two, guys, I've had hundreds of messages. Right now, I'm going to tell you about some of them. Never any names, unless they give me that permission. But there's a couple of people I'd like to actually come on and talk live about their journey. And one of them sent me a thank you that I had basically been very blunt with them in black and white and told them to get their head out their ass. That after X amount of years on certain stuff, it clearly wasn't working. It had done nothing for them other than hold them in some type of state of suspended animation. And nothing had changed in their life at all. And they took the step of knocking it all in the head and taking the bull by the horns and actually realising that the power was within themselves. And by being extremely blunt, which is not always the road I would go down, but I felt it absolutely necessary for this person to be as blunt and black and white and as literally as cruel as I could be with the truth without tearing their heart out. And they have came leaps and bounds and made incredible progress with their life, which is testament to the fact that it's within us all. And I'm so glad that they shared it with me, that they've done it. And that's why I do this. That's why I do it. People ask me why I do things, and I just say, look, if you got the messages that I get, which is the reward, you would understand why I do it. It's why I do all of these things. When a parent stops me in the street and tells me that something I said in a video had, opened up their eyes that much that they were able to find something, in their kids' devices or something, and it made a massive difference to the potential outcome, then that's why I do it. That's why I do it. I don't need to be paid for it. I also don't need to be acknowledged for it. But when people let you know that something's worked, that's absolutely why you try and be positive and live a positive life. So if I've got stuff going on that will negatively affect this channel, then I feel that it's only right that I keep it away from a while. So if I take a few days out here and there, that's usually why. Time out's been good. I am now going to share a daily journey with you. A little bit of training, a little bit of eating, as we spoke about before I went on a full 180 tangent. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to do a little routine, and I'm going to just talk about the basics of approaching that routine, and slowly but surely changing the mindset from Coca-Cola down to water via diluting Vimto, diluting Ribena, stuff like that, which is flavour. Instead of me putting in that much, what I used to do, I'm down to about this much. Because I've told you, I hate water. I love mineral water, but it's not available to me all the time. And I hate drinking water too much. I don't like it. I just don't like it. So I'm always finding ways to just add a little bit of flavour or a little bit of something to trick my mind into thinking that it's something else, while working towards having the strength of mind to actually drink water all day long and not act like a baby about it. Everything's a struggle. And for me, consuming the right amount of fluids on a daily basis is part of the problem that I have. But when I am hydrated, my brain function and my health and everything feels so much better. And when I am hydrated, I also feel healthy in my mind and my decision making, where I don't want to actually go and eat crap. Because if I felt good all day and all night, the last thing I want to go is go and put a deep fried pizza into my system. You getting me? So loads of things going on, loads and loads of little subtle changes to be made. But when you make them all collectively, down the line, the change can look dramatic. But I just don't like water, it's as simple as that. But what I do like is trying, and what I do enjoy is the up and down of the journey. Some days you're winning, and other days you're just like, where's the Haribos? And that's part of it, but I'm going to share all that with you too. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? You know, if I want to eat a Terry's chocolate orange, I'm going to eat one. But I then have to burn it off. So for the next 12 to 14 days, no fibbing, right? No fibbing at all. I'm going to drop £1 a day, £10 over 10 or 12 days. I'm going to show you how to do that. And a pound is a lot for a lot of people, but I know how to do it, and I know it works for me. Now that's not going to be a pound of absolute fat. It's going to be water retention as well, and it's going to be, you know, just getting the clog out of the stomach. Food that lies in your system for days at a time. Stuff like pastas and stuff like that, it can lie in your system for hours and hours and hours. So I'm going to be burning some calories, and I'm going to be focusing on not putting the crap in. Because when you put the crap in, you have to work doubly hard, especially at my age, to get it back out again. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing it because I want to share a journey with you, but I want you to be doing it as well. I want everyone to start right now and make one tiny subtle change. Make your decision tonight and carry out that change tomorrow. So if you're in the chat, think of one thing that you're not going to have tomorrow. Not something that you're going to replace with something else. But think of one thing that you're not going to have tomorrow. You're just not going to have it. And if tomorrow's your shopping day, you're not going to put it in the basket. Right? Let's get serious here. Let's get focused. So I'm going to show you how I live and how I do what I'm doing. Okay? So there's people mentioning some stuff. So just pick one thing, just one thing, and go without it. Jojo. Jojo, you made me laugh there. Right, guys. So we're all going to pick one small thing, right? And we're not going to have it. Now, I'll tell you what my one thing's going to be for the next 2 weeks. No sugars in tea or coffee, right? None at all. Not even the wee one that I allow myself in the morning, and the wee half of one I allow myself at night. No sugar at all. I'm going to do without, okay? But I'm going to pick one more thing as well. I am going to not, this won't be a food item. I am not going to engage visually in anything at all that falls under the toxic banner for the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to remove sugar from my beverages, and I'm going to not allow anything toxic to come to me through these windows and be processed here for the next 12 to 14 days, and I'm going to tell you how that feels, okay? That's what I'm going to do. Watch this space, Hong Kong Fooey. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I'm involved in something, and for very good reason I'm involved in it. But I am not going to engage in anything for the next 2 weeks. I may be doing stuff in the subconscious, but I will not be doing it anywhere at all, online or via anyone. I won't be doing it. So there's two things I'm removing from my life, from my daily life, that exist in my daily life, and I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I know how I'll feel. I know the result of removing the sugar immediately, and I know the result of removing complete toxicity from your life immediately. I already know the results of that because I've done it many times before. So that's my two things, guys. You pick yours and we'll start tomorrow. We're going to go on a journey together. I'm going to do some basic stuff. I'm going to do some press-ups in the morning. I'm going to have a little run. I'm going to do some basic stuff. I might run 2 mile, I might run 4. I might only run 1,500 metres, kilometre and a half. I might only do 20 press-ups, or I might do 200 on Wednesday night, and I might do 600 on Saturday. Either way, you'll know about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to starve myself. I'm not going to try and chase results that will make you go, oh wow, that's amazing. I'm not going to bullshit you, because I'm not going to do crash diets, because crash diets absolutely obliterate balanced mental health. They cause too many peaks and troughs, and I don't promote that. They're a bad idea. As is the immediate removal of carbohydrates from a diet. Anyone telling you that hasn't got a clue what they're talking about. So I don't do abrupt, random, crazy stuff like that. I don't do it. I binged all my life, which was abrupt and extreme, and now I'm in control of it. So subtle, small, little and often marginal gains, guys. Marginal gains across the whole spectrum of how you live, okay? Yeah, you can get sugar withdrawal. It's actually quite intense, as is caffeine withdrawal. It's a drug. Believe me, it's a drug. It's a potent drug as well, especially if you drink it in the amounts I used to drink it. So I will be getting rid of a wee spare chin, a wee inch off the belly, and we'll be taking it there, and I'll be ever so slightly increasing the cardio, okay? No problem at all. Muscle memory, nothing I've not done before, no major shocks to the system. I'm just going to share it with you. And on the days where I can't be arsed doing it, I'm going to tell you I can't be arsed doing it, but you're going to see me doing it anyway. No matter how moderate it is, I will show you what can be achieved with the minimum of effort. All you have to do is dedicate your mind to continually repeating the minimum of effort, and you will develop and you will achieve marginal gains. From when you put them in 6 or 7 or 8 different categories and areas of your life, those marginal gains become a singular, larger achievement. So when you're peeling a little bit from here, there and everywhere, all of a sudden, whoa, you've achieved this. Instead of getting into insane diet routines and getting into states of ketosis and all the rest of it, right? That takes major determination. And if you guys were all so incredibly attuned and, you know, supersonically in control of your own minds, then you probably wouldn't be on this channel, because it's certainly not me. So I pursued those massive gains when I was a younger guy, but now today I pursue marginal gains, small, achievable marginal gains from different areas. Don't do insane dieting, don't do insane fitness sessions. It's not something I'm going to stick to, but I will stick to moderate fitness sessions that keep me functional, that keep me usable, that keep me strong. Before I have a six-pack, I like to be strong. I'm strong when I carry a little bit of extra body weight. When I've got a little bit of beef in the bone, a little bit of meat in the bone, I'm very strong as a bull. When I make myself, you know, 13 stone 2, ripped, I don't have that same bull strength that I'm known for. Why would I not want to have it? There could come a time in my life at the drop of a hat when I need it. So I always like to keep a bit of meat in the bone. That's what works for me. I know then I'm at my best. I know then what my engine's capable of. So I also know when I feel good. Now guys, quickly, this is not a mirror on the wall competition, okay? It's not about how you look, right? It's about how you feel. I've been asked all my life about fitness. When do you know you're fit? When you get a six pack? No, because we're all, physiologically very different. So what works for one doesn't work for another. So basically, I base my fitness not on how I look, but on how I feel. So I don't need a mirror. I don't need to see my abs. I don't need to have my obliques sticking out. I'm not into fitness for, the aesthetic pleasure of looking at myself for hours a day in the mirror. I don't suffer from vanity where I have to please myself, with big Hollywood smiles and my hair all gelled back perfectly, my eyebrows all done, and putting lighting on myself to make my body look like in a better condition than it is. You put me in the end of a rope and put you in the end of a rope and I'll drag you off of that park by pure determination. So abs is not going to do that. Having ripped up muscles is not going to do that. It's a total myth, okay? Aesthetic, people that need to look good aesthetically are probably not in the best shape, far from it. And people that are ripped so much where you can see every muscle fibre and all of their abdominals and obliques don't have any strength, none at all. Okay, I know when I'm strong when I'm 14.5 stone, I'm an absolute bull. And at 14.5 stone, you're not going to see my abs, but I'm solid, but I like a wee bit of beef on me, and I've got no intention of losing that, because then I will lose the feeling I have of feeling strong and healthy. There's a difference, guys. The magazines for years promoted, Men's Health. Men's Health magazine, I am astonished that it's still going. It's been more detrimental to men's health over the past 25 years than any bloody drug known to man, because my mates have been on the cover of it, all airbrushed and all the rest of it, and they look nothing like that. They go on 6 and 8 week starvation diets, and then they take certain supplements that make them vascular for a couple hours, stuff like nitric oxide, which makes the veins pump to look good, and then they get airbrushed and have lighting shone on them, and then they put it out on the shelf to millions of men and make them all feel shit because they don't look like that. Fail. That's not what men's health's all about. So yeah, that's a bit of a conundrum that I can never get my head round. There's less than 1% of the population will ever look like that, and believe me, those results can only come from starvation diets. I don't care who you are or what your qualifications are in nutritional and all the rest of it. So feel good before you look good. Feel good before you even feel the need to look in a mirror and check yourself aesthetically. So I want to get to a point where I feel good, then I don't need a mirror, because it's my head's telling me, you're on fire, you're as strong as an ox, strain like you're strong as a bull. I don't need a mirror to tell me when I feel good. That's like one of those little bloody plastic tests that everybody does to tell them they've caught a virus, that they didn't know they had. Don't go there, mate. It's all subliminal programming of your brain. You should know when you feel good. You shouldn't need a doctor to tell you, or a test to tell you, or a mirror to tell you that you're looking well. You should know within you, I feel great, so I must be looking great. That's what we're going to achieve, guys, okay? That's where we're heading. And it's not for everybody, but for this little portion of time, over the next couple of weeks, that's what we're going to be doing on AC Coming Back to Life. And I hope that some of you can come on with the journey and follow on with us. And pick a little thing and let's get it knocked in the head. Shout out to Brad R, for asking after me. And to anyone else, Kira, anybody at all that's asked after me lately, I appreciate it greatly. And if I've been distant and vague, as always, for very good reason. So, Charlie, you're 61, you act like a 25-year-old. Hatchet Harry, spot on. Get on the heroin. I'll maybe give it a try sometime, Ryan, but it'll not be in this life, mate. Paul Connor's my man, Paul, down in the south side. Hope you're well, mate. Bungo, how you doing, Bungo? Bungo's good. Good chat. Always voices his opinion, which I like. Doesn't he sit in the fence? Bobby Orr, all good. Mark H, Dakota Frankie. Positive vibes, Hong Kong Fui. Kyle, Scottish Ramblers. Shout out to the Scottish Ramblers. My man in Dundee. Shout out to Taz, he's not in the chat, but he sent me a message earlier. Gary Taz Carroll. Fishing Caledonia, Wee Al. Brindo, Bum Bum, Some Man for One Man. Heather. Kev Bainbridge, John Doe. Hope you're all good, guys. Brilliant. Lovely that you have hung around without any updates from me. I do appreciate it. Sometimes it's just what has to be done. So, tomorrow, up early, got a little bit of work to do. I'll be having some porridge oats. I'll have a banana. And I'll be getting my ass in gear, okay? And that's what I'll be doing. But everything's good. Everything's good. I'm fit, I'm healthy, strong as an ox, head's clear, conscience is clear, more importantly. That's probably a first. Anyway, I'm good, guys. I'm just going to go a little walk just now. And just thought I'd catch up, let you know that I'm still in the fight, still here and going nowhere. And there's some good things to come. So this couple of weeks, let's do this together. Everybody, no slackers, little thing, we move it. Okay? So if it's a box of Quality Street that you're scalping every night, get them stuffed right under the couch where you can't reach them. But let's do something together and we'll see how we feel. And I'll show you how I feel, okay? I'll show you how I feel. So I'm going to get my, thanks Liz, that's nice to hear. I'm going to get my self in order. Going to just drop a couple of pounds, tighten up here, tighten up there, and tighten up here. Because remember, I tell you all the time, guys, it's all the same machine. So when everything's functional and everything's working coherently and, you know, together, you can't go wrong. You can make yourself bomb-proof. You can make yourself that way, bulletproof. You can toughen yourself up to the absolute limits. Okay? Bungo, get something and we'll get on it, mate. We'll do this together. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll maybe do a little video in the morning and a little one at night. I'll maybe do 2 a day for the next couple of weeks, as long as it's not overkill and it doesn't put anyone off. Just little short ones, we'll catch up. Talk about food, talk about how the day's going. Talk about the slip-ups. And I'll tell you the truth, if I've ate 2 packets of hobnobs up the mountain, I'm not going to lie to you. Okie doke. Right, lovely to catch up. Rob, stop tempting me with this cheesecake and I'm going to have to come straight to Montrose and get it off you, mate. Right guys, been a pleasure. I'm glad everyone's well. I'm glad most of you are still here. And I hope that we can achieve some goals over the next few days together, alright? Out to you. Night night guys, thank you.